And you think, and the girl's 13 years old. And you think, okay, I mean, first of all, your parents, assuming they were on board with this, should be horsewhipped. But
yeah.
in a couple of years, you are going to realize that you did something horrible, mutilated yourself, disfigured yourself. And adult human beings convinced you to do this. And then some adult carved you up and chopped you into pieces. And really, I mean, and you can't find the courage to stand in the way of this. That's terrible.
Well, because they, I've said this before. It's like they give them the devil's bargain. Do you rather have a live son or a dead daughter?
Well, that's exactly right. That's the way to sell it to him. If you don't do this, he's going to kill himself.
So why does it seem that, like, when we bring up stuff like this, it's, the quotes and the articles are out in the public,
right?
But you're still called a conspiracy theorist for even broaching this idea. Because why? Because it seems so out of the norm. It seems like something that can't happen in this country. But at the same time, there's a large group of people in this country who agree with all of this, and they agree with it to a degree where it's almost religious fanaticism.
Yes.
Is that an appropriate assessment?
Yeah. I mean, that's this revolutionary fervor. You're absolutely right.
How do we explain that? How do we explain one of the biggest things, and I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
Yeah,
one of the biggest things, both my grandfathers fought in World War II, one in the Pacific, one in Europe. They both did two diametrically opposed things. One was a radio operator on planes, and the other one was an engineer for runways on islands in the Pacific. So I've always been fascinated by them as men, as heroes, as people who put their lives on the line to fight for this country. And I never understood, especially with Nazi Germany. I'm like, how do you convince everyone to go along with this? And I could never rationalize or find an answer to it until 2020. What do you think? Do you think that there are larger works at play here, or do you think it's the George Carlin thing where you don't need to have a formal conspiracy when interests align?
Well, I'm probably more inclined to go with George Carlin, which doesn't mean there aren't some really evil people at work here. And I just mean that I don't think there's a single star chamber here where there are like 5 guys in there making decisions. I mean, on the whole sort of cultural Marxism thing, by this point, it has so infected so many big chunks of American culture. I mean, it's no longer a fringe thing. I mean, if you've graduated from any liberal arts college anytime, probably in the last 20 years, you walk out absolutely convinced that the United States is an evil construct, that we are the problem, it's not just our government is the problem here, but we are the problem in the world, right? It's destroying us. We're bad. Everything about us is bad. Not imperfect, which is obvious, not needs reform, which is obvious, but evil from the ground up and must be destroyed. And by this point, they have control over the media, and they have intimidated a huge number of people. There was a book written right after the Russian Revolution. I think it was written by a journalist called John Reed. I may be screwing up the name.